Hello, this is John B. with Ryan Medical. The purpose of this videotape is to detail the new Linstrom PRK and LASIK spatulas and markers, designed in coordination with Richard L. Linstrom, MD. The first segment of the tape will detail the features and benefits of each of the instruments, followed by actual surgical footage from Dr. Ralph Chu showing the instruments being used in surgery. You see before you the Linstrom PRK spatula and marker on the top, and the Linstrom LASIK spatula and marker on the bottom. The PRK double-ended instrument product number is 8-16144, and the LASIK double-ended spatula and marker product number is 8-16145. You see before you the PRK spatula. The spatula is sharp all around its distal and posterior surface edges and is designed to remove epithelial cells within the oblation zone. This is the other end of the Linstrom PRK instrument. This is the PRK marker, which measures 7 millimeters in diameter and is used to make the outer boundary for removing epithelium within the surface ablation zone. The center has crosshairs for exact alignment to the center of the optical zone. This is one end of the Linstrom LASIK spatula and marker. This is the spatula tip, and it is sharp on its side edges and distal tip, making it ideal for lifting and reflecting the flap during primary LASIK, and also ideal for dissection under the flap and repositioning the flap during enhancement LASIK. On the other end, you see the Linstrom LASIK marker. The marker has 9 radials which ensure precise repositioning of the flap or cap. The inner diameter measures 6 millimeters, the middle measures 8 millimeters, and the outer measures 10 millimeters. You can see one radial here which ensures that if the flap becomes a cap, that the cap is repositioned perfectly. Should you have any questions regarding any of this instrumentation, please feel free to contact us at Ryan Medical at 800-637-4346. Please continue watching the videotape for surgical footage from Dr. Ralph Chu. Thank you for your attention.
I'm Dr. Ralph Chu, practicing in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and today we're going to be demonstrating the use of the double-ended Linstrom LASIK spatula and marker made by Ryan Medical. This is a double-ended instrument with a LASIK marker on one end and a LASIK spatula on the other. The marker is unique in its design, which has 9 radials which ensure precise repositioning of the flap or cap. The inner diameter measures 6 millimeters, the middle diameter measures 8 millimeters, and the outer diameter measures 10 millimeters. The LASIK spatula is sharpened on its distal tip and edges and is ideal for repositioning and reflecting the flap during primary LASIK, and ideal for dissection under a flap during enhancement LASIK. As you can see, the marker is centered over the pupil after being inked in gentian violet and provides a quick and easy way to see if your flap is adequately repositioned. After checking pachymetry, the suction ring is placed onto the eye, and a nasally hinged 160 micron corneal flap is then created. A drop of BSS is placed on the dome of the cornea to prevent epithelial sloughing. After the flap is created, the spatula is inserted into the interface and used to gently reflect the flap onto the nasal conjunctiva. One benefit of using the spatula over the forceps techniques is that the procedure is smoother and fewer breaks and inadvertent folds are created in the flap. I prefer to use a moistened Maricel to moisten the stromal surface prior to laser ablation. The lights are turned down on the Dissection laser. The patient is asked to fixate on the red flashing fixation target, and the reticle is centered over the patient's pupil. proper positioning of the patient is important to ensure proper centration. What we watch for carefully is that the patient's head is perpendicular to the beam of the laser. I am able to adjust the corneal hydration status by reapplying balanced salt solution to the stromal surface with the moistened Maricel. The laser ablation is performed with the lights turned down to allow the patient to better fixate on the flashing fixation light. You may find in your higher myopes that once the flap is reflected, it may become difficult for them to follow the fixation light under bright illumination conditions. As you can see, a small amount of movement of the eye is normal, and this does not affect the eventual outcome of the procedure. At the conclusion of the ablation, a drop of balanced salt solution is placed at the hinge, the flap is reflected back into position, and the interface is cleaned of any debris using balanced salt solution on a cannula. A moistened Maricel sponge is then used to gently stroke the flap back into position. As you can see, the marks previously created are nicely aligned, and with one simple glance at the cornea, you can quickly determine that the flap is perfectly repositioned as each of the marks are properly aligned. The flap is allowed to adhere for 5 minutes,